Now there's nothing more that I love than to make videos that actually matter, that will actually help you. Because what I've found out with all these truth channels and these conspiracy channels, what do they all have in common? All their videos fall under the category of conspiracy entertainment. They're not actually going to help you. When all hell breaks loose, how many of those videos will actually help you? So it's nice to make a video that actually matters. As many of you know, there is disturbing testimonies where people claim they have inside information that this New World Order government is going after preppers first. They might have special lists. They have digital database information on who's bought what. And basically what this video is about is how can we outsmart the New World Order? How can we outsmart the UN soldiers that are coming and going to take over America as the law enforcement? UN soldiers, foreign troops, are going to be the law enforcement in America. There's been plenty of supernatural dreams and visions where people see this exact scenario. First thing I have to tell you, for all the doomsday preppers, if you live in these areas, probably the first year after the rapture, whether it's a fake rapture or a real rapture, the way to tell a real rapture from a fake rapture, if all the 3-year-old kids are gone, the 4-year-old kids are missing, the 2-year-old kids are just magically gone, you know it's a real rapture. It's a real catching away event. Whether it's fake or real, 1 year after this so-called rapture event, you might want to move out of these areas, because these are the areas where people say great devastation is going to happen. This big fake asteroid, and they'll probably detonate a bunch of bombs, cause a huge 200-foot tsunami to devastate the lower half of the United States. America's going to be split in half. Every interstate bridge will be collapsed. Every railroad bridge or trestle will be collapsed. No more grocery stores. No more gas stations. And then these UN soldiers are going to come flooding in. Some people claim that during the same time as this catastrophic event, the outer part of California will literally split off and fall into the sea. I just know from my personal point of view, 1 year after this rapture event, whether it's real or fake, I'm going to move out of this area. I would not be in any of these areas. Another important piece of knowledge for all the preppers, there is a so-called prophet of God back in the late 70s and 80s that says the months and weeks leading up to the big catastrophic event that splits America in half, he said the unemployment will be around 50% and the dollar will be virtually worthless. So you could see people would be abandoning their little infants. They can't feed them anymore. Think about people that smoke cigarettes or that have no money. They would be going crazy. The theft and robbery, looting that would be going on. And that's before the big catastrophic event that splits America in half. If you see little infants being abandoned, the dollar is virtually worthless, unemployment is at 50%, dude, you better get out of the Midwest. So if you can figure out a way to build a cheap underground bunker without leaving a money trail, it's probably the most important decision you're going to make to attempt to survive the apocalypse or the end times. I do encourage you to have at least 10 years worth of food and water and toilet paper and floss and toothpaste and baking soda and whatever. And there are brilliant, cheap ways to build an underground bunker. You can use old school buses. I mean, could you imagine if you bought 4 old crappy school buses, cut them up, put them together underground? Think about how much space you would have underground. Something else that you need to realize, if you are a prepper and you are attempting to outsmart the New World Order and these UN soldiers, you have to understand they can watch you through your television sets. These HD TVs, these new 4K TVs. There is disturbing evidence that if they needed to watch you in your house or in your living room or your bedroom, wherever your TV's at, they can do so. Just come over to YouTube, type in hidden cameras and HD TVs. It's like a 1 minute, 20-second video. Very important video. Now see, I favor people storing up on canned foods, buying things with cash, storing up on canned foods, because what we know is canned foods can last way far beyond their best buy date on the bottom of the can. Check out this testimony. How long will canned food really last before it spoils? There's a famous study in 1974 where they analyzed a 40-year-old can of corn that was stored in someone's basement. What they found was it was edible. It even retained most of its nutrition. There's a possibility that you could buy canned food and they could last 20 years. Somebody told me it's real easy to look at a can and tell if it's spoiled. If it starts to bubble out, if it starts to expand, you know that bacteria and gases have formed inside of that can. But all you'd have to do is open up a 20-year-old can and just smell it and know, hey, is this good or bad? Now, I do have to warn you, I heard years ago, somewhere on YouTube, there's a phenomenal testimony. This guy had an end-time dream or vision where he saw there was a group of people out in the woods and they were hiding from this New World Order government. They did not want to get a chip in their hand or anything like that. Then a helicopter with this thermal technology, it's flying around and it detects them. And then moments later, these federal agents or soldiers come in and they arrest this group. It was like a man, a woman, a young child, and an old man. He said it looked like they hadn't showered in months. He said there was water jugs. Basically, this helicopter detected their body heat. So it makes me wonder if you were to build, like, let's say 1-inch thick plywood, and you're going to build, call it a wooden umbrella, call it a wooden stable, something to where you could hide under, something to where a helicopter with thermal technology could not detect you. If you have a fire going, you better have a 5-gallon bucket of water next to your fire. So if you hear a helicopter coming, you have to put out your fire as fast as you possibly can. I made a video a couple months ago, Simpsons Predicts Future of America, and I strongly encourage the preppers, people that are paying attention, if you can buy land out in the middle of nowhere and you can start digging deep pits and start storing up food down in these pits, do so. If you can put cans in like trash bags so they don't corrode, or figure out ways to store food in the ground, do it. Just do not ever contaminate that area with a cell phone or GPS technology, because the UN soldiers are going to know. They're going to be able to backtrack where you've been. See, you absolutely know there has to be ways to outsmart and outmaneuver the New World Order and these UN soldiers, these foreign troops that are coming. There has to be a brilliant way. Start planning, start thinking, start coming up with strategies now while cash is still available. Because in a couple years down the road, we're going into a cashless society.